What up, we're back. I'm Emma.
I'm Brandon.
And we're back with Summerlin Bobcast announcements. I will start with the menu for the week. For today's lunch is meaty nachos, tater tots, and fruit and veggie bar. For Monday, there is no school, but for Tuesday, we're back with biscuits and gravy for breakfast, and orange chicken, rice, fruit and veggie bar, and a fortune cookie for lunch. Wednesday, there's mini cinnamon rolls, and for lunch, there's chicken noodle soup, crackers and cheese, and fruit and veggie bar.
If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat the 988lifeline.org to reach the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Bobcat Academy meetings. There is going to be a juniors. They're going to have a prom meeting in the cafeteria with Miss Dempster today in Bobcat Academy. There's going to be a meeting on the 18th for the high school book club with Miss Whiting in the library. The teammates' annual soup supper is going to be today for the Summerlin game versus Humphrey Lindsay Holy Family. It is going to be a free will donation for, due to January being National Mentoring Month. Become a mentor at www.teammates.org.
A friendly reminder for any after-school events, read through your Summerlin Bobcat spectator responsibilities. Seniors, get your senior pictures to Mrs. Funk, please and thank you. For the daily quote, too many people have opinions about things they know nothing about, and the more ignorant they are, the more opinions they have. Thomas Hildren.
For your elementary news, also make sure to follow your Summerlin Bobcat spectator responsibilities. And for your sports and activities, the live stream links for today's game versus Humphrey Lindsay Holy Family can be found in the announcements. With this week's sports wrapping up as follows. The high school team will, of course, be here versus Humphrey Lindsay Holy Family today. So the JV girls will be starting at 4:30. The JV boys also playing, I guess, in the auxiliary gym. And the varsity girls and boys to follow. There's a high school boys wrestling invite today at West Holt. And for tomorrow, there's going to be speech at Wisner Pilger with high school boys wrestling at Battle Creek and the Summerlin Youth Boys Basketball Tournament. For Sunday, January 15th, there's going to be a Summerlin Youth Girls Basketball Tournament. And for Monday, January 16th, there's going to be no school, of course, for Staff Development Day. There's going to be girls wrestling at Battle Creek with Summerlin Junior High Boys Basketball Tournament. For Tuesday, January 17th, there's going to be Junior High Basketball at Santee, with Wednesday, January 18th, having a school board meeting, and Thursday, January 19th, having wrestling duels at Neely, with Junior High Boys Basketball at Summerlin. The girls tournament schedule is as follows. The first game will be starting at 3 for Summerlin as the home team versus St. Mary's. At 4:15, O'Neill will be starting as the home team versus CWC. And the consolation game and championship game will be following those matches. For Friday, January 20th, the basketball team is going to be at Osmond with all the teams playing. No times scheduled for them yet. There's going to be a high school girls wrestling invite that day at Neely. For Saturday, January 21st, speech is going to be at Summerlin with a junior high boys basketball tournament at West Holt. And the basketball team is going to be having a tournament at Niobrara. That's just going to be the JV girls and boys. And there's going to be high school boys wrestling at Neely.
For sports and activities next week, for Monday, January 23rd, there's a late start, 10 o'clock for students. 10:30, there's Quiz Bowl versus Elkhorn Valley and high school basketball at Elkhorn Valley. Tuesday, January 24th, there's high school basketball at Plainview. There's also a wrestling try at Summerlin versus EBPJ in North Central. And there's also wrestling parents night. Thursday, January 26th, there's Antelope County Career Day and high school basketball at Wausau. That's right. Friday, January 27th, there's Wayne State Honor Band and junior high basketball at Summerlin versus St. Mary's. Saturday, there's first round of NBC at Elkhorn Valley and EBPJ.
Up next on Bobcast is going to be Barrett's sports segment with his guest Kelton. Thank you for watching Summerlin Bobcast.
Hello, Summerlin. I'm Barrett with the Summerlin Bobcast sports segment, and we are back after a year probably. Who knows how long since I've done one of these. We've had flag football going on, and then flag football not going on. Basketball, Christmas break, winter break, that stuff. New Year, a lot of snow days. So this is my first time back in the new year, you could say. And it's kind of a different setup of show this week. It's the same, but we got a new segment in here. Weekly review's not really going to have anything since, I haven't been here in however many days. Followed by Husker Hour, and then, of course, making picks at the end. So let's get right into our first segment of Weekly Review. So here in Weekly Review, we don't really have much to talk about. The main thing that's going to happen right now is after I'm done talking, I'm going to throw up the leaderboards for NFL and college football since all that is over. Of course, the NFL in the playoffs now. And college football is done. Georgia won it all, which congrats to them. It wasn't even close. TCU pulled the upset on Michigan and then got blown out. Georgia beat Ohio State. That game was really close. Ohio State had a chance to win it. They shanked the field goal to the left, so Georgia made it. Ohio State probably would have won if they made it anyways. TCU looked really bad, or maybe Georgia just looked really good. Other than that, really, the entire sports world has kind of been, in shock over the past, 2 weeks of the NFL with Damar Hamlin stuff. He got discharged from the hospital today, so that's all good. I'm sure he's still, in whatever troubles he's still in. So obviously not troubles, he got injured, but he had, a tube and everything to help him breathe. That's removed. He's out of the hospital, so that's all good. And what was really interesting, I guess, last thing I'll talk about, Bills opening kickoff of their game after the Damar Hamlin situation and their game getting canceled with the Bengals. They're playing the Patriots. Opening kickoff, Nyheim Hines takes it literally to the house, opening kickoff. So that was a pretty cool scene in Buffalo. I was watching that game, so that was pretty cool. But I'm going to throw the leaderboards up for special guests and for me, and then we're going to move in to our newest segment of a mock draft. This is our newest segment for mock draft. We're doing NFL this time around, and I'm going to do it in a way to where there are no trades that are going to happen. Obviously, draft night trades are going to happen, but I think to be able to guess that, there's only one for sure trade that I can see happening, and that's the Bears trading away the first pick because they don't really need a quarterback. So they could really just give it up and make the Texans not get Bryce Young because all signs point to the Bears not taking him. So that's what we're going to do here in this mock draft. And I'm just going to talk along with it. We're just doing the first round, obviously. So here we go. The Bears, obviously, with the first overall pick. And the clear number one would be Bryce Young. But they don't need a quarterback. They have Justin Fields. I think they stick it out with him longer, I would say. How long? I don't know. But I think, obviously, this year's quarterback class is pretty good. But really, I don't think the Bears are going to take another chance. So they're going to go with Will Anderson at number one from Alabama. So an Alabama player still goes number one. The Texans, they have the second pick. Obviously, this is exactly what they want to happen because Bryce Young falls right to them. And that's who they're going to go with. Bryce Young at number two. The Cardinals, very interesting for them. They really, defense is something they need. They really need everything. They haven't played great at all this year. They have Kyler Murray. He's been injured. I'm going to say they go with Jalen Carter at number three, the D tackle from Georgia. The Colts are at four here, and I think it's just set up for them to take C.J. Stroud. Their quarterback situation has been rough for however many years now. I think they finally get a guy they can hopefully rely on for the Colts in C.J. Stroud. Now my Seahawks picking at 5. This is huge because think of the future we can build with this. I don't know if there's a clear, number one that Seattle wants. Obviously, corners, linebackers, D-line, O-line, edges, wide receiver depth, a quarterback possibly in this draft. So I think I know who I would want, and I think I know who Seattle wants. It's Paris Johnson from Ohio State. You can maybe say he'd probably be projected barely in the top 10, you would say, but he's the best offensive tackle in the draft. He's probably the best O-lineman in the draft. I don't see why we wouldn't take him, because we need O-linemen. And even though we got Cross and Abe Lucas in the last one of those guys can move to guard, we'd still be good. And having O-linemen built up. The Lions at 6, obviously, this is huge for them. Having the 6th overall pick is amazing for them. You know, they were 9-8. They knocked the Packers out, allowed the Seahawks to get into the playoffs. And I think the Lions at this point could be looking quarterback. You know, they have wide receiver and Amon-Ra. But other than that, they don't really have much depth there. But really, again, the Lions are a team that could use anything. Quarterback probably a main priority for them. But in my opinion, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud off the board. I think they're going to maybe reach a little bit here. And I think they're going to take Jordan Addison, another receiver, to go along with Amon-Ra. Maybe a little bit of stretch there, but you never know. The Raiders at 7, I know who they want this entire time. Derek Carr is obviously leaving. They need a quarterback. Kentucky's got one. It's Will Levis. They take another quarterback. 3 in the top 10 so far. The Falcons at 8. Very interesting pick. They really need everything again. Another one of those teams. Quarterback, a lot of people would say is a need. I'm not going to quite call it a need yet. They got Desmond Ridder. I think he can be good. I'm not going to rely on that, though. And obviously, they got Drake London. They have Kyle Pitts. I think what they're going to do in this draft is go corner and get some defense with Keely Ringo from Georgia. A quick pick here for you. The Panthers, they're going Quentin Johnston instantly from TCU. He had a really great season. They need wide receivers. DJ Moore might not come back. You never know. Panthers go Quentin Johnston. Eagles at 10. Possibly going to make a Super Bowl run this season. We don't know. The Eagles, they don't need quarterback. They really don't need running back. They don't necessarily need wide receiver. They need defense. And guess what? The draft always has defense for you. Myles Murphy out of Clemson, the edge. He's going to get taken at 10. The Titans at 11. Another really interesting team. They need O-linemen a lot. And I would say there's not really an O-lineman that you'd want to reach on right now. The next best one is Skoronski from Northwestern, Georgia guy in there. But it's not really worth reaching that high. And I don't think they want to go quarterback because there's not really much left. So they're going to go linebacker. Best available is Noah Sewell from Oregon. Texans again picking. You know, this is another one of those that could get traded away. They already took Bryce Young, so they want to go more offensive. Brandon Cooks, you never know if he's going to leave. Guess what? That opens up a wide receiver spot. They don't need a running back because Dameon Pierce is there. O-lineman may be there, but they're going to address wide receiver and take Kayshon Boutte from LSU. The Jets, another interesting one. I think, to most people's surprise, I don't think they're going to take quarterback just because of what's available right now. And they don't need running back because they have Breece Hall, they have James Robinson. They don't need that. I think, actually, they go D-tackle and Brian Brzee. Defensive line is always a big thing in the NFL. I think that's who they go with. Patriots at 14. This one, very, very interesting because of Mac Jones. Do they feel like sticking it out another year with him? I really don't know. They need wide receivers, corners, safeties. And I think this is a pick where the Patriots completely miss on. I think this is a complete guess. This is not even saying, like, best available, they should take this guy. I'm thinking they completely miss on this pick. And they take, obviously, still, like, a first-round guy. But I think they go with a lower-level corner that should probably not go off the board this early, and Christian Gonzalez from Oregon. Obviously, he's good. But there's guys like Cam Smith, Joey Porter, Brian Branch at safety. There's linebackers available. I think they kind of miss on this one. Packers at 15. They're going to go not with a quarterback because Aaron Rodgers is leaving, but they're still not going to take one. Maybe second round. They're not going to take one, though. What they are going to do is take a safety and Brian Branch because he's the best, possibly the best DB in the class, other than Keely Ringo. Commanders, this one again. Quarterbacks are falling, but the Commanders are not going to take. They're going to go and get a little bit of running back help with Bijan Robinson. The Steelers, though, this one again, another one where you could see quarterback coming and taking over here, but I don't think so. Kenny Pickett's still there. They got Trubisky. They're not going to go with him, though. They're going to go probably with Tyree Wilson to get another edge rusher. Lions, another pick. This one is so interesting for the Lions because, again, 2 first-round picks for them, and they really need everything. And offensive line is one of the biggest needs. And I think the clear next best here is Peter Skoronski from Northwestern. The Bucs at 19, they're going to draft Tom Brady's replacement, Anthony Richardson from Florida. This could be a huge sign, though. If they do go quarterback, I believe they will just because of Tom's future. You really don't know. They have a playoff run this year. They made the playoffs. You never know. I think they go Anthony Richardson if he's there and just try to get a backup to be able to fill in for Tom afterwards. Seahawks, their second pick of the first round, is at 20. And I think we don't go best available. We already went O-lineman. And I believe there's 2 really good edge rushers available in B.J. Ojulari. And the other one is Isaiah, I can't even see his name, Foskey, I think, from Notre Dame. Both of them are very good, but I think Seattle goes with linebacker, okay? Linebacker instead. Trenton Simpson from Clemson. I think they go that direction. Jags, they're going to take a corner to help out with that. Cam Smith off the board. Giants, they, again, another team that really needs a lot, but wide receiver, we've seen how they've dealt with that through the past years. A lot of injuries. They're going to take Jackson Smith and Jigba out of Ohio State. The Ravens, this one's simple for me. They're going corner, helping out with that. Joey Porter from Penn State. The Chargers, another really weird pick for them. I don't really know what they would go with. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark here and say they're going offensive line. Broderick Jones. The Cowboys, they are really gonna have a bit of a weird pick here. I really don't know what the best option is for them. They need a lot, obviously. But I think the Cowboys go Isaiah Foskey from Notre Dame, the edge rusher, at 25. The Bengals, again, another team that needs a lot of help, but they're going to go tight end here. Michael Mayer, Notre Dame. The Vikings, they need a lot on the defensive side of the ball. That's why they're going the best defensive player available, Antonio Johnson. That's who they're going with. The Broncos, obviously, this team needs a lot. They're really bad. I think they go defense and B.J. Ojulari. The Bills, they're going to take a running back because they need it. Jahmyr Gibbs. The Chiefs, they need corners. Clark Phillips, that's who they're going with. And finally, the Eagles are going to go ahead and take a D tackle to help out. They're a little old, so they're going to take them. Welcome to Husker Hour. This one is a very jam-packed Husker Hour. There's a lot going on with head coaching jobs, transfer portals, all of that type of stuff, commitments, decommitments. So we're just going to kind of go through everything and lay it all out. Coaching situations, I don't know how much I've talked about this. Of course, the head coach, Matt Rule, that was from a while ago. But all these additions, offensive coordinator, Marcus Satterfield from South Carolina, big pickup. D coordinator from Tony White from Syracuse. He runs a 3-3-5, which is a very different defense than most people would run. But I think it's going to work. I really do. Offensive coordinator, Marcus Satterfield, he said that they're going to use fullbacks. They're going to use a huddle now. Instead of calling it from the sidelines, they're going to have the quarterback get in the huddle and follow that every play. Like you said, fullbacks, tight ends, a lot of running the ball. So that's all good for the Big Ten and for us. Special teams coordinator, Ed Foley. Running backs, E.J. Barthel. Strength and conditioning coach, Corey Campbell from Baylor. He's huge. If you look him up, he better be making our guys look like that because he's huge. Secondary coach of Evan Cooper. D-line coach is Terrence Knighton, and one of the only coaches that Matt Rule kept from this year's staff is the O-line coach, Donovan Raiola. There's some other ones in there like DB coach, wide receiver, tight end, but not quite as important as those ones. Some of the main transfers from Nebraska this year. I say the biggest one, of course, Ernest Hausman going to Michigan. That sucks. But if he didn't want to be part of the rebuild, I mean, you can understand it. Sucks as a Husker fan, but it's whatever. Jaquez Yant leaves as well. Dakotas Crawford. IGC, he's been left for a while. Ben left. He has had his name in the portal for a while. Kevin Williams, he just committed to, I don't even remember. Some of these guys have already committed. Some haven't. Brant Banks is going to Rice, out of all places. A bit weird for him. Some other guys in there that don't really make a big impact. Jaden Gold is going to Syracuse. He was very young. Probably had a good future, but he left. Kicker Chase Contreras. Our punter, Brendan Frankie, he had a really good year, and he decides to leave, so that sucks. All the guys that are transferring in Nebraska, though, they're going to be big helps. First, on a lesser scale, long snapper from Florida, Marco Ortiz, is committing to Nebraska. A 4-star corner. I think he actually, like when they reevaluated him in the transfer portal, he got moved down to a 3-star. But from Florida, again, Corey Collier. He's really good. He's a good corner. Could play safety. We need depth there anyways. Obviously, we have 4 returning starters, cornerback-wise, but he'll definitely make a big impact. Jeff Sims, 4-star QB from Georgia Tech. He is probably going to fight for the starting job with Casey. Obviously, some stuff went down with Casey on, I believe, Instagram, I think, where Jeff Sims, maybe it was Twitter, I don't remember. Jeff Sims, like everybody was talking